Hey, so I wanted to start doing proper updates on this project in the form of a devlog and doing videos, so that way I can share where I'm at. And I think it would also be nice to see like how I've improved in my projects and to kind of like give myself a perspective of where I've been with things. Because it's very easy to just kind of like lose track of that, like as you're working on stuff, especially like as I've been doing this so sparingly in between classes. Um, and since this is my first devlog, I've kind of like to give background on where I'm currently at and where I'm coming from and where I want to go with things. Um, so if you're new to me, which probably are because I'm a tiny guy, um, I go by Valoon, the absent-minded. Um, got that from a D&D group. I like to play 5e and have fun with that. And that's just what everybody calls me, so I go with it. I am very absent-minded IRL, so self-explanatory. So I just finished up my associate's degree in computer programming this past spring, and now that I'm done, I want to take and have taken time to decompress from a very, very hectic final year, which I got through. Yay. I am now moving forward with developing this game with my free time. Um, I will say this is not my day job. I would love it to be, but this I have a full time job and it consumes a majority of my time. Some weeks I work a lot, some weeks I don't. So this is just kind of dependent on that and like how tired I am at the end of the day. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be a slow process, especially because I'm new to a lot of this stuff. So some of the stuff that I'm sure a lot of game developers go, "Oh yeah, this is super easy. It takes me 10 minutes." I've never done a lot of this stuff before, at least in like this kind of aspect, um, and so it probably might take me hours, and that's okay. That's what this is. This is learning. This is fun. So this game project in specific, um, I don't really have a name for it. I just call it adventure game right now. I've been mulling over titles for it, trying to think of something silly. Um, it's really just mostly for me to learn the ins and outs of the Godot gaming engine, and really put my skills to the test and figure out what I need to do in order to build the much bigger dream game that I've always wanted to build. Because after this one's done, uh, I want to build a much bigger RPG. Uh, and put like the world that I've crafted into play and really build on that. So this is really just like a fun little rough draft. It's going to be full of silly jokes, um, and just randomness. Not a very serious game, um, but that'll be for later. Um, yeah, the end goal is this is just going to be a relatively short game. I want it to have a town level, a forest level, and a final dungeon. I've got like rough drafts of like what those are going to look like drawn on paper, but nothing yet in graphical form. I plan to sprinkle in quests, secrets, puzzles, and a couple of boss fights. So something look, you can either zoom through it or you can explore. Just got to figure it out. So far, I've got a lot of the core systems in place, and I'm working on adding more before designing the levels. Right now, I'm using a lot of pre-made assets that I purchased off of the itch.io store, from a couple of people like, oh goodness, ELV Games is one of them. I used a lot of their assets because they had that big bundle. I picked that up on a sale, and that's been really helpful. Um, Most of the assets you see here are from ELV Games. It's like a single square, and then I just modified it to have a darkened texture, um, so that way it gives some contrast in there. Um, but yeah, so there are some of my own that I've done. Um, so like the town itself, like I made the assets for this. Um, and I'm still learning. I'm practicing my pixel art. I want to get better at it, but um, I'm getting there. In the end, it will be all my own stuff, unless something is just like this just works so well. Like I'm open to the idea of just keeping this style, um, and that's okay. So like this is the original like player menu, and over the past month, um, I've been rebuilding the inventory and player stat screen from the ground up. This original mock-up worked, but I didn't design it with the end goal in mind. So there really wasn't room for the leveling up and stat adjustment mechanics that I was putting in. It wasn't designed to work well with multiple pages for the other menus. Um, moving as I was moving things around, I kept breaking stuff, and I was like, "Oh, oops," you know, new developer oopsies. Um, so I put in a lot of placeholders for like the new stuff. I really like how this one looks, like the final version. Well, it's not final. I'll probably change this again, but this just looks so much cleaner. And it's got the functionality I need, and it's got like placeholders for upcoming stuff like these other menus that are up here. Um, yeah, so it's not done, but it's a huge step in the right direction for my end goal. Um, so like if we start up the game, like we can see like, hey, there's our menu. Um, so now I've got like the descriptions working if we hover the mouse over it, and whether you're not. So like it's able to detect that. So you can really make it go crazy if you want. So if we go pick up a couple of items, um, yeah, so I've got it so it locks the description so you're not just like hovering over stuff. Ooh, that's a little bug. I'll have to fix that. But yeah, so again, it's all full of puns. The descriptions are just silliness. Um, yeah, so like showing that we can see that we've got like our inventory system working. You can't just drop things into the key items. Um, so, but now if we use our, oh, let's get rid of this guy. So that should be enough to level us up. Yay, we're level 2. And then I'm going to pop that up a little bit more. I'm going to press, I've got a cheat key for testing, for leveling up. And now we've got all this available. And we can see like a preview of like what are the stats going to look like, and how this affects the player. And so like I've kind of got like a rough idea. This will probably change as I go, but like right now, like luck also affects like your critical chance as well as like your loot chance. Um, and so like we can see like mind affects like your magic points and your ability damage. Um, yeah, so we can place points and like you can even do it like with some partial points still in place. So if you want to hold on to a couple because you're like, I'm not really sure, you can do that. And then once you've locked it down, like you can't back it out. You can't get negative numbers and you can't go over. Um, so like we can do that. And then I'm currently working on the quest system. I just started that. That's got a long way to go. And then like these other menus are just here as placeholders. Um, but yeah, so far like we've got like our NPCs, which I've shown in the past, like they walk on paths. Some of them will. I've got the scripting, so like they can wander around on their own at random. Um, I've even got, because like right now it's nighttime, we got a lantern that functions. Um, so yeah, like that's really what's going on there. We can transition to other menus, or not other menus, but other places in the game. So like I've got that set and I've got a nice little loading placeholder. Yeah, it's coming together and I'm really excited. I did redo kind of like a rough idea of what I want the player HUD to look like. Um, this is definitely not final. Like this is like stretched out, like mixed match of like pre-made assets. I needed to start doing some sketches and putting those up. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. And like I said, currently just working on building the quest system, because I want it to be able to uh, block the player from getting certain places if certain quests aren't met, and just kind of like add some fun in there. Because you can't have an RPG if you don't have a quest. You need 1,000 fetch quests, right? But yeah, so that's where I'm at. Thank you for watching. Um, feel free to follow me on Blue Sky. I'm gonna post like sketches and other random things over on there. Um, but yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great day.